Alright, back at you with a Woden's Day and Odin's Day update. And it's really getting very strongly today to bring in Andaman as strongly as possible today, to just get out of the way and let Andaman in. So it's not why the camera's not focused on me. That's because I'm a sweaty mess after running. So yeah, these are my will be soon offerings to Freya. Let me get into Andaman here. So, yes, the first thing is give your offerings to Freya on all days. Do not wait for Fridays, for Freya's Day, or if you prefer, Frigg's Day. Do not wait. Offerings to Freya are welcome at all times and will be of benefit. Freya is an older mother energy than most are able to recognize. If you're watching this, though, you are able to recognize. And this is not to say that others could not recognize, only that most have not opened up enough, especially in their heart space. This is not about the mind space. Recognizing Freya is about opening the heart space. So open the heart space. As Andaman, there is a part of my soul complex that was a mate of Freya, that has known Freya in the deepest of ways. There is not one of you who can possibly listen to this and accept it who has not known Freya as spouse, as mother, as daughter, as sister, as some other relationship very closely in your life, close friend. You all have known her. Open yourself up. Work on your heart space. You will know that you are open to Freya's energy fully when you are able to walk around the world and look not with your eyes, but with your heart. You will know when this is happening. You will not be focused on what your eyes are seeing. You'll be processing everything that you see and everyone that you see through the heart space. You will see them in the deepest way possible. You will know them. Even if you do not know them in their particularities in this time and space, this space and time, you will know them. You will have a deep knowing of them. This is why identities such as gender and sexuality are becoming so blurred in the social structures coming in. It's because the sociality of the population of Earth are recognizing each other and recognizing that you have known each other from ancient times. Those old relationships, even if you are not aware of them in your head space, you are recognizing them in your heart space, and therefore old ideas, old taboos, old lines drawn that say that you are not allowed to love this person, you are not allowed to have a particular type of relationship with this person. Those lines are becoming thin and disappearing. They are inconsequential unless they're consequential to you. And that is up for your particularity in this time and space to decide. It is not for anyone else to decide. This is an Odin's Day message, and that means this is about seeing and seeing far. Don't be deceived. There are many who will not choose to open their heart spaces. Do not see when this is happening and fall into the trap of thinking that that means all is lost or all is the end. No, the heart space is opening on this planet. And as it does, and only as it does, and to the degree that it does, a certain darkness is being cast out. Jared has spoken before on this, and Andaman was coming through at that time, talking about the darkness. Go back several updates, at least a week, a little bit more than a week, talking about the darkness and the night versus what we might think of as evil, but is preferable to talk of as the negative polarity. The negative polarity in its rawest form is invisible in this positive polarity universe, this positive polarity existence. This positive polarity universe has, as its structure, many timelines. Many. Some are very different from each other, and some are so close to each other that you can slip between them and not even realize, unless you are highly attuned, that you have changed over to a slightly different timeline. This happens constantly. Right now, Jared is watching an ant on the sidewalk and knowing, as has been shown to him, that if this ant chooses to go slightly left or slightly right, another version has decided to go the other way, and that a new timeline has emerged, not just for the ant, but also for Jared, and therefore for Andaman, in all of Andaman's emanations. This is how reality works. We are being graced with the presence of this little being here. Jared just noticed. Andaman is saying, I was waiting for you. The Odin energy, which is very ancient, but not as ancient as Andaman. The Odin energy is like a very thick, but only a thread in the Andaman energy. Very ancient in its own right. More ancient than Earth. The Andaman energy goes further back. This is not to puff Jared up. This is not to puff Andaman up. This is to say that if you are watching this, you are supported with the most ancient of energies. There are even more ancient energies coming in now. There are some other as ancient that are already here. There are more ancient energies that want to come in. The Freya energy herself, which many of you know as the Marian energy, Mary, the mother of Jesus, that energy. But even that energy is younger than the Freya energy. It is a facet, an emanation of the Freya energy on this particular planet, this particular sphere of consciousness. An even more ancient version of this energy has tried to come in, and it was not the time. This energy is coming in. It is due to happen. And in the lifetime of this person, much will change, but again, there will be many timelines. Do not be dismayed if you are on a tough timeline, if you find yourself on a difficult timeline. It is because you have chosen it. You are there for what you can bring to it. Another version of you is bringing something else to a slightly different timeline or a drastically different one. Even if a timeline seems to have an end, there is always a trunk that is leapt to. Consciousness does not die. Consciousness does not die, even if the physical embodiments of consciousness on a particular biosphere come to what material beings see as an ending. Trust that consciousness does not die. It leaps out into the void, and it finds new habitation elsewhere. There is no ending. Consciousness goes on and on and on and on and on. This is why it is important to open the heart space. The negative energy cannot win in this positive plane of existence. It seeks to grow as large as possible and control as much as it can, thinking that if it gets big enough, it can create, in essence, an inversion to swallow up the positive plane into the negative. This it cannot do. It cannot. Even should it succeed, all it would succeed in doing is canceling out both, and all would be silence. There is no acute danger of this happening on a mass universe scale. It is possible on smaller scales, and this is why support is coming in. There is an infestation on this planet of the negative energy. There has been for millennia upon millennia. This battle is long. In order to properly fight this battle, it required beings native in their physicality to this biosphere to be grown physically and mentally, in their consciousness, in their very being, know that there is no true distinction between materiality and non-materiality. This is a way of speaking in order to help those in particularly material emanations to understand their place, to just be able to apprehend ideas. There's no duality. All is one. All is one. All is one. It's necessary to talk at this time on Odin's Day about the phenomena of the tarot. There is much talk going on about negative aspects of the use of the tarot. Understand that the tarot is a gift to humanity from a most ancient being, from Thoth himself, who now is in and of the sun. Who is Ra, one and the same. In the past was not one and the same, but understand, souls do not disintegrate. Souls, as they grow in the positive polarity, become larger. They grow, they join together, and they ascend the spiral in this way. The negative polarity seeks to tear apart, to diminish, to make the soul as tiny as possible, as small as possible, as trapped in a single idea, a single ideology, a single love or hate or any emotion. Yes, even what appears to be love, if a soul is trapped in only that emotion, it has been diminished, and it cannot join as readily with other souls. It will be separated from other souls. This is how it works. So understand. Understand. It's 14:33 on the timer. I mark this not for Jared, not for Andaman. Jared / Andaman was thinking before this video started. synchronicities such as numbers are now nothing to Jared, because every number that can be viewed is a vibration with a meaning. But this is for others, and there's someone specific who may have been watching these videos who thinks that when Jared mentions a particular number, that it is for him, and that any number is going to come up. Well, of course it is. Yes, that is true. That is not the point of marking the numbers. The point of marking the numbers is when the attention falls on the number, the mind is vibrating with the attention of that number. All is frequency, all is one, all is attunement. And marking these things out allows for the attunement of multiple consciousnesses across dimensions of time and space, space and time, what you think of as the 3D and the 4D. These are not true actualities. These are descriptions supplied to those in a material embodiment, a particularly material emanation at this point of existence, where most of your consciousness is within that embodiment. And within that embodiment, you must stay attuned to particular frequencies and particular ranges of frequencies in the main, or you will literally fly apart. You will literally cease to be in this embodiment. It is not easy to make that happen, but it is possible. It's important to go back to the tarot. The tarot is about tracing energies. The tarot is of numbers. The tarot is of energies. The energies are the fire, which is in all and through all and is all. All is fire. All is spirit. All are one. The material is not spirit. The spirit is not material. The spirit is not bodied, embodied. The body, the embodied, is not spirit. They are one and the same. They are different vibrations of the same all, the same one. All begins as one. All runs through the course of the different emanations and the different frequencies, ascends, and eventually comes back around to the one. The one fragments and fragments and fragments and fragments, and then comes back together and comes back together and comes back together. This is the process of building souls. First there must be fragmentation, then there must be joining of the fragments. There must be joining of differentiation so that the different parts may know each other and may ascend in that knowledge. This is the reality that you are in. This is how it works. Know that nothing can happen that is not a part of that. This is the heart opening, is knowing that nothing can happen that is not a part of that. Nothing, not the worst thing that you can experience, is not a part of that. When you have learned to see from this space, from this heart space, then your heart will be opened. Only then can the heart-mind come together. And it cannot not come together when the heart space is open in this way. This relates to the tarot. This relates to the tarot because many are trapped in a misguided representation of what the tarot is, as only about romance, as only about a certain kind of heart longing for another person who will supposedly complete you. That is not an opening of the heart space. That is the heart space closing down to all possibilities except one. In its most extreme form, literally one person who, if one is not joined to, one believes one will not be complete. This is false. The twin flame idea is there. The soulmate idea is there. You are twins. You all have twins and triplets and quadruplets and more. You have soulmates beyond soulmates. And it's up to you to decide which soulmates are for you in this space, in this time space. So understand, this does not mean tarot is wrong or bad or evil. This does not mean that all tarot readers are wrong or bad or evil. This means use discernment, use care, understand, and do not be trapped in a cycle of thinking that only this one other can complete you. And that is all for today. Leaving you with much love and peace. And as Jared likes to say, all the light you can stand, sending it your way.